In 1923, a loaf of bread in Germany cost 200 billion marks. Not because bread became expensive, because the money became worthless. That was the Weimar Republic. And right now, more hedge fund managers, economists, and central banks are quietly preparing for something similar to happen to the U.S. dollar than at any point in modern history. So, today, we're going to strip away the panic, ignore the doomers, and answer one simple question. What actually happens to your money if the dollar collapses? And, more importantly, what can you do about it before it's too late? First, let's get one thing straight. When people say the dollar's going to collapse, they picture a single catastrophic event. Banks shutting overnight, cash becoming worthless by Tuesday. That's not how it works. A dollar collapse, in realistic terms, is a sustained, significant loss of purchasing power and global confidence in the U.S. dollar. It's not a switch that flips, it's a slow bleed. The dollar index, the DXY, measures the dollar's strength against a basket of major currencies. When it drops consistently, your money buys less globally, not nothing less. That difference quietly destroys wealth over years, not days. There are two scenarios economists watch for. A slow decline where inflation erodes dollar strength over decades, like we've already been seeing. And the more severe scenario, a sudden loss of reserve currency status where countries stop settling trade in dollars. The second one is what keeps people up at night. Right now, 88% of all global foreign exchange transactions involve the U.S. dollar. Oil, the commodity that powers the entire world economy, is priced and traded in dollars. This is called the petrodollar system, and it's been in place since the 1970s. Countries need dollars to buy oil, so they hold dollar reserves. So demand for the dollar stays artificially high. It's a self-reinforcing cycle, and it's the single biggest reason the U.S. can print money without immediately destroying its economy. But that system is cracking. Russia and China are settling energy trades in yuan. BRICS nations are actively building an alternative reserve framework. Saudi Arabia, the cornerstone of the petrodollar deal, has quietly begun accepting non-dollar payments for oil. If the dollar loses reserve status, even partially, the United States can no longer run the same deficits, and the consequences hit every single American. Here's where it becomes personal. Almost everything Americans buy is imported electronics, clothing, cars, pharmaceuticals. A weaker dollar means all of that gets more expensive immediately. Your grocery bill, your phone upgrade, your car payment, every import-dependent price goes up. Oil priced in a currency other than dollars means U.S. gas prices would spike in ways we haven't seen before. And when gas prices go up, shipping costs go up, which means every product on every shelf costs more. Your savings account is already losing value to inflation at current rates. In a dollar collapse scenario, that erosion accelerates dramatically. A bank account paying 4% interest while inflation runs at 12% means you're losing 8% of your real wealth every single year, and most people won't even realize it's happening. And here's the cruel irony. The government's response to a dollar crisis is typically to raise interest rates aggressively, which means mortgages get more expensive. Credit card rates go through the roof, and the economy slows down hard. This isn't a hypothetical. It has happened, repeatedly, and the pattern is almost identical every time. Venezuela. In 2016, the bolivar began hyperinflating. By 2018, prices were doubling every 26 days. People burned cash for heat because it was cheaper than firewood. A currency that was once worth something became literally worthless. Argentina. The peso has devalued so dramatically that ordinary Argentinians have a saying, "Save in dollars, spend in pesos." The people who held local currency lost everything. The ones who held foreign assets survived. Zimbabwe. The government printed so much money that they issued a $100 trillion note. It couldn't buy a bus ticket. The pattern is always the same. Governments print money to cover deficits, confidence erodes gradually, then collapses suddenly, and ordinary people who weren't prepared lose decades of savings in months. So, what does the smart money actually do? Here are the 4 hedges that consistently hold value when the dollar weakens. Gold. For 5,000 years, gold has held value when paper currency hasn't. It's not an investment that grows dramatically. It's a preservation tool. When the dollar drops, gold priced in dollars goes up. Consider allocating 5 to 15% of your portfolio to gold ETFs or sovereign gold bonds. International assets. If the dollar loses value relative to other currencies, assets held in those currencies gain value in dollar terms. International ETFs, foreign real estate, or even foreign currency savings accounts give you exposure outside the dollar system. Bitcoin. Controversial, but worth mentioning. Its fixed supply of 21 million coins is a direct contrast to the unlimited printability of the dollar. It's volatile, it's speculative, but more institutional investors are treating it as a dollar hedge every year. Real estate, physical property with intrinsic value, doesn't go to zero. In inflationary environments, real estate prices typically rise with inflation, and rental income provides cash flow that adjusts upward over time. None of these are panic moves. These are the rational, measured steps that wealth advisors recommend, regardless of whether you believe in a dollar collapse or not. Because in a world where the dollar is simply worth less than it is today, which is already happening, these assets protect you. The dollar isn't going to collapse overnight, but the slow erosion is real. It's measurable, and the people who ignore it will wake up in 10 years wondering why their savings bought half of what they expected. The question isn't whether you believe in a dollar collapse. The question is whether you're positioned for a world where the dollar is simply worth less than it is today. If this video changed how you think about your money, subscribe. Because next week, we're going deep on the exact assets you should own before the next financial crisis hits. You don't want to miss it.